Throughout American history, we have had many influential presidents, and one of these presidents happens to be our 26th president, Theodore Roosevelt. Although he has accomplished many things in life, the best place to start, in my opinion, would be the very beginning, his childhood. Theodore Roosevelt was born on October 27, 1858, and for his first few years, he lived in Manhattan, New York. He lived with his father, mother, two sisters, and brother. Growing up, Roosevelt had his fair share of struggles. Having a fragile body paired with serious asthma made his younger years of life especially difficult. On the bright side, Roosevelt was born into a wealthy family, and was fortunate enough to be schooled by his mother along with personal tutors. Despite lacking a healthy body, Roosevelt still found an interest in the outdoors. When Theodore Roosevelt was about 12 years old, he started focusing more on his physical health, and part of this change was due to his father's encouragement. Roosevelt did anything from lifting weights to horseback riding. Over time, Roosevelt gained a much better physique, and his health started to reflect that. As Roosevelt's love for nature continued to grow, he started collecting animal specimens and started taking taxidermy lessons. As Roosevelt got older, he started to adopt the name Teddy, which could serve as a shortened version of his first name, Theodore. In 1876, when Theodore was almost 18, he attended Harvard College, and he even had help from a private tutor to prepare him for college. Some of what he studied was natural history, modern languages, and zoology, and he stayed dedicated to physical activities too. Some physical activities he still enjoyed were boxing, rowing, and wrestling. Teddy didn't exactly fit in when he joined Harvard, and everything from his clothes to how he thought subjects should be taught distanced him from people. On February 9, 1878, 2 years into college, Roosevelt's father sadly passed away. This was especially traumatic for Teddy because of how close he was to his father. As I stated earlier, Teddy's father was the one who encouraged him to improve his physical strength, and did so much more for him. Sadly, Teddy didn't make it back in time to see his father's last moments, but his studies kept him busy and he was able to move forward eventually. Due to his father's death, he changed his goal in college to honor him. Roosevelt switched his major to history and government because he thought it would align closer to what his father would have wanted. After more time in college, Theodore Roosevelt met a woman named Alice Hathaway Lee, and as you may have guessed, she later became his wife. To Roosevelt, Alice wasn't like the rest of the girls, but surprisingly, Alice didn't even want Teddy at first. She declined his first proposal, but Teddy didn't give up there, and on October 27, 1880, they finally got married. In December, Roosevelt joined the Columbia University Law School to pursue his new career direction, but later left to pursue public service differently through the New York Assembly. Although he enjoyed serving, politics wasn't normal for men with his public status, and fellow leaders disapproved of his career direction. He ran for public office in 1881 and served in 1882 and 1883. The next year, 1884, Alice Lee was born to Roosevelt and his wife. Unfortunately, Theodore Roosevelt was away in Albany when his daughter was born, and he returned home to realize both his wife and his mother were very ill and near death. His mother died first of typhoid fever, and hours later, his wife died of kidney failure. During this dark time, Teddy's brother Elliot said, "There is a curse on this house. Mother's dying, and Alice is dying too." Roosevelt continued his political path, but later took some time off. After Roosevelt's return to New York, he reunited with an old friend, Edith Kermit Carow. In 1886, Theodore Roosevelt and Edith got married in England. However, they settled in Oyster Bay, Long Island. In 1895, after serving in the Civil Service Commission, Roosevelt became the police commissioner in New York City. In 1896, Roosevelt also made improvements in the Navy as Assistant Secretary of the Navy. Although many people appreciated Roosevelt, some political leaders still didn't like his bold motives, and they pushed him to become vice president. To many, being vice president would keep him from causing any trouble. It wasn't until President McKinley's assassination that the political leaders realized their mistake. Theodore Roosevelt was now the 26th president at age 42, and he was fully willing to make changes. He first made changes in business, attempting to get rid of any business monopolies, and he showed interest in protecting and maintaining nature through national parks. Although it wasn't the people's intention for Teddy to become president the first time, he proved himself to be worthy by the next election. In 1904, he won the election against Alton B. Parker. As Roosevelt continued with more adventures, he also got a lot older, and in 1919, January 6th, he sadly passed away in his sleep due to a blood clot. He was 60 years old, which was still pretty young, and he was buried in Oyster Bay. Although I couldn't talk in depth about every major task he accomplished, it's clear he accomplished many things, and very often he wasn't afraid to push himself for the greater good of others.